going on, guys? Jay Craft here today to talk to you about the post that I put up on Facebook about a week ago regarding a massive haul of CDs that I had picked up. And it was not just CDs, but it was some PC stuff and a bunch of music, and it was a hodgepodge of goodies. But I wanted to touch base with you about my success and some of my failures as well. Now, it's only been a week, but believe it or not, I've already turned a great profit on it, but I still have quite a bit of work to go. It may be intimidating at times if you pick up that many items at once, but I tell people the best way to look at it is as if though you are going through shelves of media at the store, but you just happen to have brought it home with you. If you get an opportunity like this at a swap meet where you're looking at a couple of bins in front of you and you do a spot check or two, you pull out a couple of pieces and you can find that they're worth, $20, $30 for a few individual CDs, rather than wasting your time and sitting there and cherry picking what could take hours and you're going to end up missing out on other items at the swap meet, try and make an offer on the entire lot. Just try and buy everything at one time. Try and be fair with people though, of course, but let them make that first price for you. Kind of feel out the situation. If they have 200 CDs there in front of them and they're asking 50 cents a piece, see what it would take to get them down to 20 cents a piece, 10 cents a piece. Ask them too, how long have you had these? This is your first time bringing these items out. Really feel out the market and negotiate a good deal. But we're not here for negotiations today. Today we're here to talk about the media in specific and what made it special, what made it unique. So I have a couple of piles here around me right now. And the media as a whole can be broken into a handful of different categories. Part of it is going to be promotional music, and that was the vast majority of it. Was single release albums that were, or singles, not albums, that were sent to radio stations and just anyone that has that type of outreach, but predominantly radio stations, and they would play it on air. And these promotional copies, you are legally allowed to sell them. They're considered phono records, protected under First Doctrine, but some of these are very hard to come by. You can even see this is a Ray J one right here. This has a label applied to it, and this is how it was sent out to the radio stations. And some of them have complete cases. They have the backs on them too. And the appeal to some people is the fact that it comes with an instrumental track. Now, some of these tracks can be found on YouTube, but the people who are generally purchasing these fall into a couple of different categories. Either they love radio promotional goods, they really want that instrumental track. Maybe they're creating some different types of music and they want the bass music. Maybe they're doing raps that are going to be going over that instrumental. And then there's just people who are collecting just purely to collect this particular artist and their work, and they'll go after that. So some of my stuff, here's a Dr. Dre one. Obviously, there's Dre and Snoop Dogg fans out there who are going to want the Still Dre song. And I actually enjoyed the process too, believe it or not. When I pulled up a CD and it was something that I hadn't heard in a while, I would actually jump online. You can find most of it on YouTube. So rather than jamming into the computer, I just jumped on YouTube. I was playing music while I was going through this. But the first step, get everything sorted. Figure out what you have, and by looking it up and building stacks. So one of the stacks was purely promotional items. So like I said, predominantly radio station stuff. On the second level though, what I was seeing a good amount of video games. So we have a first edition release of Half-Life, which is about a $15 bill. We have Chaos Island for the PC, which is about $15 to $20. Another $15-20 here. But yeah, I was seeing some great PC games, some vintage stuff. So we have that, the PC games, we have that. I also happened to stumble across, and I can't really show much of it here, I'm going to show it from the side, was a lot of adult entertainment stuff. And we're not talking homebrew stuff. We're talking stuff that was actually made for Windows 95, 98, even as far back as Windows 3.1, which was a little bit crazy. But there is a market for those things. There's models or actresses, sometimes even actors, that are sought after. And if you have media and you have videos that simply don't exist anywhere else on the internet, you're going to be in a good spot. So let me break it down even further. So I have my promotional items here. Now, when I was doing my search with the promotional items, I kept running into the same person over and over and over again. And I could look at their sales history and I could tell that they were selling some of this stuff, but it wasn't very frequent. Maybe one piece every 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, but they were covering hundreds of different artists. So what I went ahead and did is I went ahead and sent them a message and said, hey, I'm going to be competing with you on over 100 different listings, and I really don't want to do that. And plus, the sales conversion on those items was pretty bad anyways. So I was very motivated to try and get rid of these items. So I worked with them and I spoke with them and I built this massive list, or not list, a massive pile of CDs, took some pictures for them and sent it out. I ended up liquidating out what I considered to be the leftover bulk, the stuff that I really didn't want to deal with. That would have been hundreds of hours worth of work to get listed, packed, shipped, and everything. I liquidated that out for $270. Now, after dealing with a couple of mishaps. First, the package was over 70 pounds. I ended up having to do it FedEx. I had to drive time into getting an address changed after they provided a P.O. box. I had to list it on eBay, obviously, follow eBay terms of services, so I had some fees chopped off the top. All in all, I ended up making $170 on that single deal, but I bought everything that we're going to be talking about today for $55. So we're already free and clear. We're already showing a profit of $115 so far, not to mention the stuff that we're looking at. So the promotional disc, just so you have an idea of how many we're talking about, is roughly about this volume. And the promotional disc range on the low end of about $20, and they go all the way up to the high end of about $60. So I'm going to say for promotional music alone, we're probably looking at about $600, $700, maybe even $1,000. Probably closer to $1,000, very realistically. I also wanted to share with you too something else, that not all music is going to be good online. This is one that I held to the side specifically so I could inform everyone about it. It's Yesenia Flores, and I'm sure she has fantastic music. But if you go online right now and look up her music, you're going to be blown away with some of the pricing that you're going to see for this artist. Really, really high numbers, $100 to $150 for some of her CDs. But if we look back over the last 3 months, there's absolutely zero sales velocity on this artist. Nothing whatsoever. Even with some of the other more popular artists, I don't know, who do we have? I got one here, Akon, for instance, okay? If you look up Akon right now for his CDs, you're going to see somewhere in the area of about 800 to 900 listings. But if you look at completed, you're going to see an equal amount, but within sold, you may only see about 5 to 10 actual sold CDs. So when I was going through these and I was making my decision, is this something that's going to be going to eBay? Is this something that's going to be going to the wholesaler? I really took into account velocity because I don't want to be camping on these items forever, as well as available comps online. Some of the CDs comped out at $8, $9, $10, and if I have somebody ready and willing to give me 50 cents on it to get it out the door, I'm happy to take it, especially when we're talking about dealing with hundreds of CDs at one time. One of the other categories of items that I came across too is DJ music. That's what this is going to be right here. So these are pre-made tracks for DJs, and they can essentially just throw these straight in and get these rolling, as well as we have a Billboard compilation. We have DJ Quicksilver. We have some that are themed real interesting. This is a Sprite one right here. I know I saw a Mountain Dew one. I thought that one was pretty cool looking. So with this DJ music, I'm probably expecting, I don't know, maybe $50, possibly $100 on this one too. Sure, I'll be happy to get whatever I can get. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned the price too, but on the adult content, we're probably looking at anywhere between about $100 to $150 for that stuff on its own too. And then I've got a ton of these. And this is another part of what drew me to the deal originally, was these Sin disc, which are for, again, I believe these are for DJs. These are pre-built music sets, and I have a ton of these. This doesn't even do justice. I mean, I have hundreds of these, probably about 300 in total. I'm expecting a minimum of $1 a disc. I would love to get 500 for the lot, but I'll probably do 500 or best offer. Again, the velocity is slow, but somebody who's looking for this stuff will immediately scoop it up when they realize how much value is actually there. My bulk buyer is also interested in it too, but it'd probably be a little bit closer to $1/4 a disc. I may short sale them out if it comes to that, but we'll hold back and we'll see what happens. And then I also wanted to touch base on side stuff too. This was inside of the bin. If you don't know what these are, then kudos to you for being that young. These are diskettes, also known as floppies. This is a version of Microsoft Windows 3.1. Believe it or not, I started Windows before this one. My first Windows was Windows 3.0. And I remember upgrading to Microsoft Windows 3.1. And I'm like, wow, everything looks sharper and the mouse cursor is moving faster. And I know it sounds crazy, but this is a $20 set. People still want this. And there is old computers that use this. And if you have, If you have a father who's big into programming and they want to start their kid out with earlier tech to show them the progression, or maybe they want them to start coding with Basic or C+, like earlier versions of coding, teaching them how to interact within DOS and how to do, their own Windows upgrades and stuff like that is a great baseline for education. So these are $20 sets right here. And then I also got this. This is a Microsoft DOS 6.22 plus enhanced tools. This is about another $20 set. I've seen people throw these things away all of the time. So we got $40 there. And then through everything else, to be very realistic with you guys, I was hoping I was going to get somewhere between, I don't know, 5 or 10 grand. Let's rein it on in. I think we're looking at a little bit closer to 2 grand. I just wanted to share this experience with you, get you a little bit of a follow-up like I promised I would, give you some midweek content to watch. If you haven't seen my show, I do it on Sunday. It's called the Sunday Reseller Roundup. Link will be in the description. Definitely check it out. It's a fun show. You can ask your questions live on air, get them answered about anything. eBay, Amazon, Posh, Mercari, Prairie Grit, you name it. I'll be there to answer it for you. So thanks so much for watching today, guys. And remember, if you don't make that money, someone else will.